Do it.
Yes, it's time. Time to eat some knowledge, smart, stupid stuff today in the house, man. I'm here with my friends, and my name is Elias Medina, and yes, you have done again, you have made again the right choice. You have clicked play on smart, stupid stuff. Congratulations, man. Congratulations.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Thank you, all listeners. Rambir here, and Juan Martin is joining us this evening. We got our supporters, Corey Harpin in the house. Thank you, Corey. Everyday listener. We got Evan Baxter, the non-silent killer.
Right.
And we got Isaac. He's in the house. Isaac, yeah. Isaac. We got Patricia, a loyal listener. Shout out to Nacho. And music by Tarek, drumcandy.com.
It's like Eric with a T.
It's like Eric with a T. Tarek.
And drum with an N.
That's right. All right, you guys got it. Sponsors, who do we got, Martin?
Sponsors. This episode, guys, is sponsored by the one and only Alpaca. If you're in need of chicken, you find yourself in the house looking for chicken, you can't find it. Where do you go?
Search no more. AlpacaChicken.com.
You go straight to Alpaca, and you're going to have yourself some ecstasy in your mouth.
That's what's up.
It's amazing.
Yes.
It is good. It is good stuff. You have some arroz chalfa. You got some flan.
Don't forget to get the alfajor.
A little bit of everything. They're going to start a new thing. We don't know if it's going to catch on. If you wear an alpaca item, something's going to happen. We'll see where this goes. Do you have alpaca wear? Bring it over. If you need that alpaca wear, you can go to Blue Betsy, the Evet store, and buy it. And if you want to have an alpaca room in your house, you go to Nation Homes. Elias will hook you up.
He'll take care of you.
If you need the number, just talk to me. I'll let you know what it is. He has got a website, right? You have a website?
Yeah. NationHomesLLC.com.
Benny, guys, if you want to be a sponsor, just holla at your boy one time. Woo! Holla! So what's good, guys?
What's good, man? I gotta see what happened
Buenas noches.
a couple of weeks ago, man.
¿Qué pasó?
I don't know. If I want to share something, it's like how to stay positive, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know how I did it, man, but I got it. I got myself through, man.
You're positive? How to stay positive.
How to stay positive. I've been staying positive, man, so much. I think we all going through hard situations, man. I'm gonna share mine tonight. And
it's okay, man. Don't cry.
Don't cry, man.
It's gonna be okay. What happened, man?
I'm good. So my brother comes home from, he got like a little vacation from the army. So he comes home for like 4 days. So he comes from the long weekend.
Shout out to Titi.
Then
we forgot to shout him out.
I'm gonna talk some stuff about Titi now.
Titi.
So
Titi, you better listen. You better listen.
So my
don't get nervous, Titi.
He's 8 hours away. The longest drive I did was picking him up and dropping him off, like non-stop. I went 8 hours straight and came back the same day. I showered, dropping him off.
Just now you did that?
No, probably that was like, I don't know, like a month ago. Maybe more,
Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So, no, it wasn't. It was before Thanksgiving. He had like another break. So he comes home from Thanksgiving, man. And so he's like, he's like, hey, man, can I borrow your truck? I gotta go. I'm with my girl, And I was like, yeah, why not? Use the truck.
What truck was this?
The red truck, the GMC. So I was like, yeah. But the same day he asked for it, I wanted to buy a bed. So I was like, shit, I can let you borrow my Audi. Because I'm going to be using the truck. So he's like, okay, yeah, are you sure, man? Yeah, I'll let you borrow the Audi.
Brand new truck you got, just looking nice and fresh.
yeah, pretty much, man. I just fix it.
He's thinking, I'm going to go see this pretty young thing.
I'm definitely going to get some.
I'm going to show up with this, and things are just going to go right.
Yeah. So he comes, he's like, yeah. So I let him borrow the car, and I'm like, bro, I'm going to let you borrow the car. And you're okay. My brother's 17 years old. Okay, so I'm like, bro, you are 100% responsible for whatever happened to this car. And he looks at me. He's like, I got you, bro. I got you. He shakes your hands.
Say no more.
Yeah.
I respect you.
So the next day, next day, my dad calls me. It's like, hey, Elias, your truck is here at the house. And I'm like, yeah, I let it borrow to Titi. We call him Titi. His name is Pablo. And I'm like, yeah. Then he's like, do you know your truck is being crashed, right? And I'm
like,
what? What are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, it's here in your truck. It's I was like, I was wondering why he didn't brought it last night, So I was like, okay, fine. So I called Titi, and he's like, Titi, what happened with my truck? Yeah, man, I was gonna tell you. I was gonna tell you what happened, man.
When were you planning to tell later? I was gonna hope you didn't notice.
I'm like, bro, what happened? He's like, yeah, I crashed your truck, man. I was like, okay, but you crashed it on the front, on the back, and you smashed the tires. No, not the tire, but it scratched all the rims.
Wait, so he got it, the front and the back.
Front and the back got crashed, and the back. Front and the back got crashed.
Oh, my God.
And the rims, like all the rims got scratched up.
All four?
Oh, one side, okay. One side, really bad. And damn. I was like, bro, do you remember what I told you before you let you borrow the truck, right? And he's like, yep, I heard you, man, loud and clear, man. I was like, all right, you're gonna be taking care of it, man. And he said, yep, let's do it. And I was like, that's fine. So my truck is been sitting on the shop for the past 3 weeks. When was Thanksgiving?
Almost a month ago at this point.
Man, my truck has been sitting in the shop for a month now. It should be ready this weekend. So my brother's been taking care of the expenses. I was like, that's fine, like I don't need to be looking cool on an Audi. I don't care if I have to drive my truck. So I was driving my truck, and the transmission broke down, man. First and second only works. Third, third gear doesn't work. So I was like, yeah, what's going on, man? Like, I would think like, okay, if I always have liability on my cars. Like, I don't have full cover. And I said that because I was like, if I crash my car and it's my fault, okay, I deserve not to be driving a car, I have the other car to relate on, if I crash this car. So I was like, I only have liability. And it's only $30 compared to $120. So
right.
It's kind of good for the packet, and you just drive careful. So that's the way I see it.
Except you let your teenage brother drive it. Yeah, and guess what? He doesn't drive careful.
Yeah.
How did he get it from the front and the back?
And
I don't know, man.
And the size.
It's like, Didi, what happened? He's like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I was like, last night, it was a little bit confusing. Like, the story was confused. So I was like, do you really crash your car? I was like, well, I was teaching my girl how to drive.
In your Audi.
And I'm like, oh my God, you're teaching your girl how to drive my car. I don't know if that was true or not, but the thing is, like, he's taking care of it. The other thing, my truck broke down. So right now, I'm without a car. I always say, okay, if I don't have my truck, I have my Audi. If I don't have my Audi, I have my bike.
Right.
But it's been raining lately. It's cold right now. So I don't have either, man. So the way I look at it, I've been moving a lot with Uber. Uber. And these things...
It's pronounced Huber.
Uber.
No, it's Huber with an H.
No. It's
silent.
Look, I've been using Lyft then.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Lyft? No, I've been using Lyft. I just got Uber.
Life.
Man, it's so cool.
Lifted. It's French.
It's lifted.
They made a name of that, man.
You don't get it.
Huh?
No, I'm just bullshitting.
Exactly. Okay, so I was like, damn, man, this so much stuff happened. And I haven't been like in that moment where I'm like, oh shit, man, I don't have a car. Like, I've been thankful for the things I have. I was like, okay, I don't have, my truck broke down. My brother's taking care of the Audi. That thing, like, I just got to fix the transmission on my GMC. But I'm still thankful that I have money to move around.
Sure.
And I'm like, I don't know why this happened. Maybe I shouldn't be on the road. Maybe I should be on the road less. Maybe something was going to happen to me. That's the way I see it, and God is kind of protecting me for something. So I was like, okay. So, if this broke for something, there is a reason behind everything that happens in my life. I don't know how you look at your life, but this is the way I look at it. It's like, maybe God is protecting me for something. And I'm thankful that I have money to move myself around with Lyft or Uber, So I don't know how you staying positive out there. A lot of stuff's been happening to me. At the same time, I'm like, okay, cool, like whatever. Like, it's life, it's reality. This is what's going on in my life, and I'm going to take it nice and calm. I'm not going to go crazy if I don't have a car. Back then, people used to not have cars.
Yeah. Right.
At least I have a broken car now.
You got to get a horse. That's the thing. You got to get a horse and you can ride around the horse.
I thought you were gonna say on the what is it on the horse, and I'm gonna ride until I can't no more. No, but it's definitely all about perspective. We all know someone in this life that whines about everything.
Yeah,
it's like everything's against them. The world is against them. When things, is like just so fucking negative, man. And like, dude, you've never struggled, and all you do is bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch. And you don't even want to be around people like that. You can feel that fucking energy. You feel that like dragging you down. And it's like, man, my fucking truck is broken. And the other one breaks. And you know what? This is fucking bullshit, man. And then they're looking for people to blame. And that's why people like get on this crazy trips about like the taxes and like, the illegal immigrants are taking my job because, I got fired from my job. And, they're looking for... it's not them. It's never from them.
Somebody to blame.
You don't want to own it. You don't want to say like, you know what? I don't like Aaliyah said, I don't deserve to be driving. If I fucked up 2 cars and I didn't have the proper insurance and I made the decision, guess what? I'll get over it. I'll fix it. But it was my call. It was me. It wasn't really on your brother. But let me tell you something, Pablo, if you're listening.
Titi, that's you.
Listen, we're talking to you, bro.
No te hagas loco.
This is for you, brother. What did you do? What happened?
What did she do?
What's going? I mean, I get it. You're in love. She's beautiful. She's whispering sweet nothings in your ear. Just like, hey, let me drive it. Oh wow, I bet you I can drive it. But when
I'll do anything if you let me drive.
Yeah. But you know what? When she hits the front. Then you're just like, you know what, baby?
Let's stop.
Let's just take a break on this one.
Yeah, you don't let her hit the back.
Then she hits the back and the size. WTF, TT? WTF?
If there's an emoji, we'll shake my head up here. Shake my head emoji. Bling.
That's amazing. Yeah. But yeah, staying positive. It's all a state of mind, dude. It's all a state of mind. It's all about what you're used to. Dude, some people don't have cars, man.
Look.
Period.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you're optimistic and you have an open mind, man, it's such a blessing. It can just completely change your life. Right? I mean, I feel like everything happens for a reason if you allow it to happen, right? Or if you see it that way. Because I mean, I'm sure there's things that are happening. You just can't understand it. You don't understand why that's happening. But later down the road, it's like, man, that happened, that hardship happened, or that whatever happened, and I couldn't figure it out, and I was just so pissed or hurt at the time. But it allowed this to happen, right? Open another door for something else. But if that never would have happened, I would have never be in this place, right?
Right.
So if that's what I'm saying. If you allow it to happen, and you just say, all right, I'm gonna look at it. And what's the positive outcome, right? There has to be something. There has to be half full. Some perspective has to be half full.
Sometimes you don't see it, though. It's hard to see it when it happens. Mm-hmm. I'll never forget. I was 16 years old. I think I've told this story before, but it relates, right? I was working at Food Lion.
About the guy who touched you?
Yeah, he touched me, and I like it. And
in the milk section.
In the milk section. No, I was working on Food Lion, and I got fired from Food Lion on my first job, and it felt shitty, bro. I was so.
Why you got fired? Was it going to be a reason?
No, it was because I didn't have papers.
Oh,
whatever.
Gotta go.
Neither here nor there. That's all being.
I didn't know you didn't have papers. I think I'm going to stop the podcast right.
Okay, guys, look at the time.
I'm legit. I got papers.
There's no way we're going to make America great again with people like you.
Let's just say all my. They were in transit. My papers.
Right.
I hadn't. But anyways, I show up on a Saturday morning at Food Lion, and I was a bagger. I'm cleaning bathrooms here. I'm cleaning poop. I'm getting paid like $300 every 2 weeks.
$7.50 an hour.
Crazy low. I'll come in on a Saturday morning. I get fired. The guy's like super intense. Like, quick, come on. You gotta clock out.
Oh, like that.
You gotta clock out. And I was like, what? And I clock out. Like, they got a call from corporate, and he's
freaking out.
This guy got to clock out immediately. And he tells me very, dude, you just got to go down to the Social Security office and get a Social Security.
No shit.
And I'm like,
oh, thanks.
And I was like, okay.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, in his mind, it's like, you just got to hook it up real quick.
Application.
All right, cool. I'll be right. I'll get right on it then. For those listeners who don't understand, it's not that simple. But anywho, I leave and I laid in my bed, and I cried a little bit.
Sure. You did cry? No, for real.
I did not cry, but I was just like, fuck, man. I was so down, dude. I was so bad. But out of that is, like, honestly, dude, if I would have I would have probably stayed at Food Lion for a long time.
Sure.
I don't know I would have, but I was able to, like, get a job. Because of that, I got a job in a restaurant making more money, and then I was able to do this and that. And
you were able to meet Elias.
Actually, it was Elias that got me a job there.
See that?
But,
okay.
Because I gave him a ride to job, otherwise he wouldn't have ever asked. But yeah, dude, like, it just seems when it happens, right. It seems so devastating.
So like, when it happens, right?
It's fucking ridiculous, man.
So that Tony Robbins, that documentary, he was talking about how life happens for us, not to us. So that happened for you to get you from one place to another place, right? So, I mean, all those different experiences that you learned at working at Bras and talking to multiple people at a time and talking to a big party, that kind of help with your confidence, help you with your social skills, talking to random people that you don't know, and they're all watching you. Some of them are looking at you, not impressed. Some are looking, okay, like nodding your head. Yeah. This one girl's checking out, the other guy's checking you out, right? So it's like different people that you're interacting with, and that builds your confidence. Next thing you know, you're like, okay, I feel a little more comfortable working at Verizon. Right. Right? Just one-on-one, talking to people with no easy money.
True.
So,
whether if I would have stayed at Food Lion, I probably wouldn't have felt that confidence. And it would have been weird. I don't know. Yeah.
And sometimes, like, the thing that I think if we can just take a step back and realize sometimes, like at Verizon, you're miserable, you don't enjoy it, whatever. That happened, right? If we take a step, that happened to force me say, all right, you know what? I need to shift the way I'm thinking. What other opportunities can I go? What other opportunities is there out there for me? Let me start looking. Let me start searching. Let me start talking to other people. Right. Are they hiring at your place? If you didn't have that pain in the ass over there at Verizon, then that would have got you to look for somewhere else. But not Same only idea, to grow.
Exactly. But not only that, like what I've learned I was there for 4 years, just every hustling, dude. Like learning, like talking to people, trying to sell. I had like maybe 20 interactions per day with people trying to sell something that is very hard to sell. Most people are there just to upgrade their phone. Right. Dude, that if looking back, it was amazing training, dude.
Right.
Like it just
that's from ninth grade to 12th grade.
You learn
all of high school, 4 years.
4 years there. Just learning to get people yelling at you, taking rejection, bringing shit up that people don't want. Like it just kind of takes that fear away. So in a way, it was very formative, right? But when it's happening, you hate it. Right. You got to make like if I look back, I could also look back and be like, man, I wasted my 4 years of my life in that shithole. Mm-hmm. Which it was easy to do, man. Like sometimes I look outside, it was beautiful out there. I'll never forget one of the guys that was working was just staring outside and he just turned back at me and looked at me and said, "We're wasting our youth." And I was like, fuck, man.
Thanks. Like, that's what I was thinking.
What if we just get the fuck out of here? But like, no, you just stay, you play it off. But eventually, yeah, you get to that point that's like, yo, I want to look for something. Let me figure something out. Right. But you can't give away all those years that I had to, like it was for me. Like I could say I went through that boot camp or whatever. Right. I was like sales. I don't know. Same for like anything, I guess. You got to struggle a little bit. And you have to have a good attitude. If you have a bad attitude, then you never get out.
Yeah, you never get out. You know why? I don't think you can see it because your negative attitude just blocks. You can't even see what's in front of you because you're blocked with you're pissed and you're stressed and you can't think when you're pissed and stressed. So how can you see beyond that? But I feel like absolutely, if you be open minded and say, all right, this is happening. There's a reason why this is happening. Let me take a step back. And like, okay, is there anything positive that I've learned here? Is there anything positive that I can use to my benefit to take advantage of and use it in my, to my benefit? But I think that's really hard for some people that, have never been taught that, never experienced that. But fortunate for them. I mean, for our listeners, it's a day of enlightenment.
That's what we're here for.
That's what we're here for you guys.
And you know what matters a lot is like who you surround yourself with. And I want to congratulate you again for listening to this right now. Because whatever you're listening to right now, whatever you're listening to, you're listening to something very good, man.
Smart, stupid
stuff inside your brain right now. Going on. I don't know what you're going through, man. But this is going to help you out in life, man.
Absolutely.
Stop freaking complaining, man. If you start complaining...
Stop the bitching.
Yeah.
You're gonna get nowhere.
Just stop with that, man.
Just stop.
It's not gonna make your day better. It's not gonna make
you're
your day
being
better.
weird. You're making it weird.
Yeah. No.
We do this mostly for ourselves, but
I do it for the listeners, actually.
Oh.
Nacho.
Yeah, me too.
Thinking about you, brother.
Nacho, we love you, brother. But yeah, dude. You know what's crazy about what we're talking about is how it's all about what you're used to and perception because. I come from, Verizon where you didn't have weekends off, like you were constantly under pressure. You couldn't even go and take a shit or take a pee at any particular moment. Like you had to ask, right? And then I moved to this environment that is much, much easier and better. And you hear people complain about that. Am I recording? Yeah, I'm recording. You're making me doubt. Are you looking at?
No, I was looking at mine. I didn't see any voice levels. Okay.
So I moved over here from people that came right from college into this job.
Yep.
And they never went through the food line. They didn't go through the buzzing tables, and they didn't go through working for people that told you I'm gonna fire you the first day and shit like that. And they come over here and they're like, they still find a way to be like, yo, this is bullshit here. We're getting fucked. I'm like, yo, you're not getting fucked here.
Right, you don't know how good you got it. Well, that's...
You can't even blame them because they never had a situation in which they've been in a worse situation. But is the answer to be like, yo, go eat some shit somewhere so that you can understand what you got? I don't know.
It's crazy. I think that's why everybody should travel to another country. And I'm not talking about to the resort because the resort is not another country. The resort, you might as well be in freaking Daytona or Orlando. Right? Palm trees around you, but everybody's there fake. Serving you.
It's
right?
fake.
No, but I think I agree. People go get a different perspective when you go to another country and you see how people really live and you see how the houses they live in and what they have to eat and just what limitations that they have. I think it's, if you've never seen that, people think the rest of the world is like America.
Yeah, like, bro, you shit outside.
Huh?
You shit outside, dude? You got an outhouse, bro? Like in Jamaica and shit like that. I think that still happens.
Yeah,
you said
have toilets, but
when you were in the service, like when you were in the army, like how spoiled people is outside.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. I remember we were I was in the barracks, right? So the barracks were kind of like your dorms. And then I went to a college party in University of Maryland on leave. And I was like, man, these kids are fucking spoiled. They got you live in a room. You can have barracks where there's multiple people living there and you share a bathroom. You share large bathrooms. It looks like you're at playing football, like in the locker room. Or you might have one room. You have at least another roommate, right? These kids had it good, man. And I was just looking around. I was like, man, these kids doing coke on the table, drinking.
What?
Yeah, partying it up. Yeah, woo, fuck yeah. And I'm like, man.
Sponsored by the parents.
I'm thinking, these guys live on the dorm. They got money in their bank accounts. They can eat wherever they want if they want to go eat over here. And I'm just like, the simple thing is like, in the barracks, you have cinder, blocks. You have cinder blocks, and they're painted. Like, they're just blocks. Here you have drywall. It was like their own little apartment. And I was just like, man, these kids got it good. Like, they got it fucking good, and they're hanging out with these girls, and they're drinking and doing whatever they want. Time of their life.
Beer pong.
Man, it's a freaking party for years.
They got drywall, this motherfucker.
I'm thinking, I got a piss test when I get back on Monday, so.
Hey, you don't smoke that over here.
Yeah, I don't need that secondhand.
I'm going to get
a secondhand smoke. But yeah, different perspective, right? So I definitely think if people go to other countries and really see how people live, I mean, it's an eye opener, and I think it's very a humbling experience for sure.
You seeing that perspective is super important, but how do you make people see that, right? Like, and that goes for a lot of intolerance that happens. You know, like I don't like this person or this group, or this group is, this group is so obnoxious or whatever, or like, it's all about like what was available to you as an experience, right? How do you do that, right? How do you open somebody up to like, dude, your life is not bad, your life is great, man. You have no fucking idea. Like, you have papers. First off, right? Like, well, I mean,
wherever you want.
To be clear, before somebody calls ICE on me or some shit, I got papers now. Okay, I put it on the record, legit, verified, e-verified, son,
e-verified.
But like that was at one point. That was great. That was like, to me, it was like, how are you fucking struggling right now? Like, how am I making more money than you? Working at this restaurant where you don't even fucking...
Because you're taking my job, that's why.
No, like,
they want to be a waiter.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how are you homeless when, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But, there's so much more to that. Like, to my ignorance, I don't know what kind of struggle this person went through.
Yeah,
right?
And the homeless, that's a whole nother topic. I feel like there's just... Everybody has their story behind that. And
yeah.
I think it's a lot of it mental illness and... something that you can't see, right? They're wearing regular shoes, regular clothes. They look normal. The guy's strong. He can go work anywhere. But maybe he just has something that we can't tell.
You can see it, yeah.
Or maybe it's an addiction, or maybe it's whatever it is, and he can't just be in a regular job and get to work on time and do whatever because he'll get fired. I mean, he won't make it. But I don't think anybody wants to be homeless and end up there, obviously.
But staying positive can be hard. I mean, I'll ask you this: is there been a time that you have not been positive, where you're like, "Fuck it," like I feel bad for yourself straight up? Like, somebody told me one time, anytime you're crying, that is, or I think I read it somewhere, like, if you're crying, is you feeling bad for yourself. So now every time I get to that point, I'm like, damn, why am I feeling bad for myself?
No,
but it's like,
think so.
But I'm saying,
completely
like,
disagree, man. I think like if you cry, like sometimes you gotta. Like, cry it out, man, and it's like a release valve.
But it's like, you're feeling like you've been done wrong or whatever. Like, what does it mean?
You knock it out. I think it's a very natural feeling, and that you're gonna have. But my thing is, are you gonna cry for weeks and get back up, or are you gonna cry and just kind of, all right, fuck, I got out of my system. Let me figure this out. What's next, right?
Man, thinking about it, it's like I don't even remember when was the last time I cried. Man.
Oh, I cry all the fucking time.
Yeah. You feel so bad,
dude. I cry about weird shit, bro. Like,
well, since you had a baby,
frozen
right?
chew right now.
Whoa, since I had a baby, worse, dude.
Oh yeah.
Why you don't shut up?
No, I don't. Dude, like,
why you don't go to sleep?
Yo, like the weird like the makeover shows, like Queer Eye for. Oh my god,
you
dude.
cry to that. Damn.
All the time, but it's because it's like something about like this man, his life was so shitty, and he just was asking for help, and like they did a Japan special. I recommend it, guys. It's 2000.
Oh, Japan special,
dude. It's 2019. You are okay with watching some gay guys. You get over it. It's not about them being gay.
No, I'm not. I mean,
but it's such a good show. It's 5 dudes that are like really inspirational, and they go to Japan. Well, they have it in the U.S., but they did a Japan special. It just came out on Netflix, and they go to this lady who runs a hospice because her sister died, and she didn't. And she thought that when she died, she could have better care. She dedicated her life to that. She doesn't take care about herself. And Japan is a different culture, so like when a woman doesn't take care of herself, they call her these things. And they come this like crazy American gay guys just come in her like little space and just like. And then I'm fucking bawling like half. I was like, dude, I'm so fucking excited about this lady, dude. I cry all the time. Well, that kind of cry I know is not feeling about myself.
Right.
But there is crying where like I'm like I'm feeling bad about myself. Like, and that's the kind of cry. Type of crying that I try to avoid.
I think that's like it's so natural. If it wasn't natural, then it wouldn't happen, right? I don't think it would happen. I mean, and I think it's more of okay, you're crying because something is so hard or so stressful to you that at the time you just
can't fucking deal with
it. Naturally your body says, I need to release this. And I'm sure you've I don't know if you ever cried and just felt better when you were done. Or that's just the natural feeling. What do I feel like I need to do? I need to you just release,
But but that does it go against the whole idea of staying positive? But crying is not necessarily being negative.
No, I think it's
just a release of emotion.
I think it's exactly a release of emotion.
An actual physical, physiological release of water through your eyes.
And I'm sure there's some kind of chemicals and endorphins. I don't know what's going through, but for sure, letting it out. And then I think the biggest thing is, all right after that, then what's next, right?
Right. Go to the gym, take a shower.
Go to the gym, take a shower. Be like, damn, I'm so glad I went to the gym today.
I'm so glad I cried. It was weird when I was crying in the weight room, but it feels so much better now.
Man, what is it?
Cry before you get to the weight room.
What do you do on a bad day? Like, you having a bad day, do you do something to make it better? Like, there's one of the things I do. Like, if I have like a bad day, like I'm like, crap, like, you know, the job didn't turn out that good. Or man, I thought I was gonna make more money. Then you're a little short on money. One of the things I do is, like, you know, I go to the gym, work out, pop some muscles, grab my motorcycle, feel good about the stuff, you know, but it's like I just go out and just ride. Yeah, that's one of the things that make me feel like, you know, like kind of release and stress out. Like,
no, there's been science behind the fact that working out it helps with depression.
Oh, I'm sure,
100%. But I've also been in times in my life where I felt depressed, and knowing this information, that working out would make me feel less depressed. And
you didn't go.
And it's still hard. I mean, I still push myself to do it, but it's so hard. Like, I can see how somebody would be like, fuck it, dude.
You know, all right, so we got a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, 2 boys at the house. And if one of them's not sick, the other one's sick. And if that one's not sick, the other one's potty trained. The other one's not potty trained, so the other one's sick again. I mean, because they both go to school, so they're always bringing something back home, right? So, or there's always something going on, right? So there's times we go these like little spurts where we get rest throughout the night, and it's awesome. And then but like lately, I haven't been, like these last couple of days, I haven't want to go to the gym. I've just been tired. I feel like I'm emotionally drained. I'm tired. We're both sleep deprived. It's so easy to watch a video or, you know, want to go to the gym, but I have not been able to make it to the gym. So I went today to the gym, and I said, this is how I got to the gym a couple of times, and just said, all right, I'm just going to go and do a light workout. I take my gym bag. I'm going to sit in the hot tub. I might sit in the sauna. I'm going to shower. And before I do all that, I'm going to get a quick workout in. So I did like a very poor workout on the treadmill just to get some blood going. And then I did a light. The secret was I'm just going to do a light workout.
Your brain can accept that.
Yeah, your brain can accept it, doesn't fight it. I said, I'm not going to do heavy weight. I'm just going to do a light workout. So I did a little bit of back, a little bit of chest, a little bit of legs. Overall, just like an overall workout, just to get my muscles like feel like I'm toned, you know, just. And
you might end up doing a harder workout than you thought, but so you got to trick yourself.
You trick yourself to get over there, right?
Yeah.
And guess what? I did. I felt like I got a great workout. Lifetime has a pool, so did again some weak ass laps, but just to get into the water, right? For like once you get in the water, you just feel like you feel so much more different in the water.
Weak ass laps? What do you mean?
Just like it wasn't like a something I was proud of laps. Oh. Like I did 18 laps. I'm talking about you did 4 laps, but you got some. You know, you just
swimming is hard.
Yeah.
As fuck.
So point that's what I meant. Like it wasn't something I was proud of, right? But the point is, I took a shower, dude. When I was done, I felt great. I felt great. I left out of there positive, optimistic. I was watching a YouTube video with some of the challenges we're having with the kids. You know, so I just already, my day was like so much more motivated and so much more. The chair.
Is you okay?
Yeah, you right, man? Oh, okay.
He's got gassy. Now it's this shoe.
Big time difference, right? Because I spent an hour and a half at the gym.
Yeah, no, it's huge. It's just hard to do it. Dude, I went through...
if you, I'm telling you, if you can't do it, just tell yourself you're going to do a light workout, and you're just going to focus on form. You're not going to be worrying about whatever else that you're not looking forward to.
Yeah, no, I went through a time in my life where I was living with you guys, where I was fucking sad like every day. You know, I'm not gonna get on my subs. On my,
oh great!
But the gym was huge, bro. They're like, you go to the gym and you feel this relaxation, and you're so happy you did it. But it's just getting there.
It's like that runner's high, right?
Yeah.
You've heard of after you run.
And I was I was listening to this podcast the other day where the guy was the Russian guy that brought kettlebells to the United States. Mm-hmm. The person responsible for making kettlebells popular in the U.S. So this guy's like an expert in working out, and he says that this idea of working towards failure, like where you're like repping and like this, like is actually not as effective when it comes to strength. That you want to have this like adaptation where you're working out your light workouts, more consistent light workouts are actually more effective. I mean, I don't know if they're going to be more fat burning, but if you're looking for performance and strength, you don't want to work to failure. It's actually
fatigue.
There's a benefit to working out to like 80%. I mean, you still want to work hard, right? But like, I feel like, we like right now, if you want to work out and you feel like it's burning or working, you have to like kill yourself. Yeah. Like you have to get to the point like if it's not burning, like all my life is like if it's not hurting, it's not working.
Right.
And so it's like sometimes like you start to get motivated and you go the first day and you try so fucking hard, you get sore, you never come back. Yeah. And that's the problem a lot of people have, I feel like.
And that's what I was saying. That I've done that a couple of times to get me out there. I'm gonna do a light workout. And by the time you're there, you're just like, all right, I'm doing a light workout, but I'm gonna just focus on form. I'm not and the point is to get there and get a workout in.
Man, just talking about it makes me want to go.
Right, let's go. Let's go to the gym right now.
You know what's one of the hardest things is when someone is like so already in shape.
Yeah.
And you're like just getting started.
Oh yeah.
And you see him just like fucking lifting.
Weren't you the one who told me that? Like,
yeah, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about them. You have no idea. They got a whole story behind them.
Yeah.
Just like that homeless guy. This guy who fucking jacked.
He's might have been there all.
He's been there for 15 years.
Yeah. And like taking all kinds of steroids and shit, or maybe not, but but you can't do that because that's how you hurt yourself, and that's how you lose motivation.
Yeah, big time.
But I didn't feel it as much. I didn't feel that in a long time, as much as I feel it now. Like when I'm like getting older,
feeling. What do you mean feeling?
Feeling weaker and older, and it's like, damn. Like I used to be at least as good as that guy right there. Not that I've never was the biggest guy at the gym, but I was always in somewhat shape, and people used to see me into like Martin's the guy's in shape.
Yeah.
To a certain level, I never was chiseled, but like Martin's in good shape. And now, like people that know me from the last maybe 4 years, they've never seen me as the guy in shape, and I'm like, what?
Well, you know what? Well, I mean, why is that?
Because like you get sedentary, and
because you haven't been going to the gym.
I mean, it's funny. I work out. Well, lately I've been working out some at work. Like doing my work, but not as much as I used to, right? And like somebody told me like you do yoga. I don't see you doing yoga. I'm like, yeah, I do yoga. I do yoga pretty regularly, but like once you get to that level, like now that you're older, it's really hard to lose the weight. It's really hard to look in shape. And I'm not like out of shape. I'm pretty chiseled. I see my
pretty chiseled.
I mean, I can see my pecker.
Right. Hey, as long as you can see your pecker, you're good, man. You're done.
Well,
take a gander.
One of the guys that I work with, that's his slogan. I want to see my pecker 2020.
Dang.
We're starting a movement, guys. If you're out there, okay,
and you can't see your pecker,
do something about it.
You better do something right now.
Feeling bad about yourself, make things happen.
Man, put down those fries, put down those beers.
Well, you can make it happen. Quit making excuses. Quit feeling bad about yourself. You should be able to see eye to eye to the one eye snake.
Your third eye.
You can't be looking at your pecker through a reflection all your life or pictures. This is just not right.
Is that true?
What?
Like people can't see their dick?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
No way.
Dude, think about it.
If you can't see it, what do you got to do?
If you got a belly, you can't see your dick. Period.
Man,
think about the angles, dude.
You got to bring it in.
You're being insensitive to the non-pecker seeing community.
I mean, no, why is that?
Somebody has to wake him up.
I mean, come on, you weren't born like that.
No,
I mean something happened. Right? So what's your habits? Don't tell me you're trying to be healthy, you're trying to be active, and you can't see your pecker.
Yeah,
I don't agree with that.
Well, here's the funny thing that you can see some people because they did not think like that for such a long time that it accumulated. Now they're doing everything they can, and it's very, very hard.
And it's going to take time.
It's going to take
time. It's going to take time and patience and consistency.
It's so much harder to lose the weight. It's like 30
intermittent fasting. Look it up. Intermittent fasting.
Or the apple cider.
Apple cider vinegar with the mother. It needs to say with the mother.
You drink that shit. I've been doing intermittent fasting, dude,
and
cut
down on the carbs. That's the hardest part. That's the hardest part. That is the hardest part.
The beer, man. The delicious golden beer that goes through your mouth is so delicious. But why are you looking at me like that?
I'm trying to just, I mean, it's not just the beer. I don't think it's just the beer. I mean, you don't eat a lot of carbs.
I can cut everything but the
beer. Well, because you're an alcoholic. I mean, it's not funny. I mean, it's true.
Why you gotta blast me like that? Put me in a box, in a category.
No.
I'm not an alcoholic.
I'm speaking the truth. I mean,
I drink. I indulge.
You just said I can do everything but put down the beer.
I mean, I could if I wanted to.
Said no alcohol.
I mean, alcoholic implies that like I'm non-functional, like that I'm like a drunk or something like that. But
I didn't say you're a drunk. I didn't say you're belligerent. I'm just saying you're alcoholic.
Yeah.
You can't stop drinking for 10 days. That means you're an alcoholic.
Damn. Yeah. 10 days will be hard.
Hey.
We should do the
10-day challenge.
10-day challenge?
Yeah.
I'll try it.
If you're addicted to whatever you are, try it for 10 days.
Here's the thing with me. Like, if I get motivated to do it and this is what I'm doing, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But it's just, I got to find the right state of mind.
The right support group.
One thing that I always wanted to try, and for those listeners out there, if you can get me started, I really want to do this. I want to do jujitsu.
Jiu-jitsu.
I want to get started. I mean, do you recommend that? Is jiu-jitsu? It seems cool. It seems like it would be nice. You know, like you learn how to defend yourself.
Right.
You get a lot of man-to-man contact action. I mean, I'm talking about missionary. I'm talking about missionary.
Wow.
I'm talking missionary. I'm talking 69.
Dang.
Nah, in all seriousness, I feel like that's a great workout.
Yeah.
It gets you in shape, and is one of the most effective martial arts out there, right?
It is. I mean, I've never done much jiu-jitsu. I did some Muay Thai, some boxing. I did a little bit of jiu-jitsu, but I don't know. Maybe it was just couldn't really get into it. But I've been wanting to try it again, and I've been wanting to try it for Mason, who's 4 years old. I want him to get started on that sooner than later.
Well, I think that having the
just exposing him to it, I think it would be great too. And then I was an opportunity for me to get back into that as well and try that.
Hell yeah, I want to get my daughter into that. It just teaches you self-defense, and like it'll be that much harder on one-on-one combat. I feel like you would be good no matter how big that's the other thing, but it doesn't matter how big the other person is.
Yeah, they got some. Yeah, I remember the couple times that I did learn some techniques. I remember I was doing it with we were sparring with like Luis, my roommate, Panama, the big dude.
Yeah.
And and I remember, man, there was one move, and I remember it was the one move I knew at the time, and it worked on him, and it brought his arm down, like he had his arms like this, and I think I ended up.
And this dude is massive.
This dude is massive, and I remember just like bringing his arm this way, and it brought him down to like his shoulder, and I was like, damn, like there is some.
Yeah, it's all
power
about leverage.
Yeah.
So like it doesn't, that's the one thing that like. Now, if it's multiple people, it's really hard because you're on the ground, like getting somebody, and somebody's gonna kick you in the head.
But like they say, most fights end up on the ground.
Right.
So what do you do next? You can be you can be a hell of a boxer, but you will be outboxed eventually, and then you're gonna end up on the ground. What do you do then?
The problem is that it's so fucking expensive. What's going on over here?
Who's over here? Oh, come on in. We got a guest.
We got a special guest. Come in. She comes with a bottle of wine.
Come in with a bottle of wine.
You were driving around with a bottle of wine?
What?
I don't want to let her go like that. She's being...
No. We can't let her go with a bottle of wine.
I think you had enough.
Come here. You want to share something?
Enough is enough. Hook up the other mic.
Welcome to the studio.
Why?
You said this is a Christian podcast.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Is it a Christian podcast? Of course it's a Christian podcast.
All right.
This is a Christmas special.
So, the jiu-jitsu. Yeah, we're talking about, missionaries. Going to different missions.
We're talking missionary.
Across the globe.
We're talking missionary.
Missionary with jiu-jitsu.
Huh?
I just want to hear.
Sure.
Yeah. Come on in.
Yeah, grab a seat.
Right here.
We got a live studio audience now, guys.
Live studio audience. That's right.
Steakhouse.
Studio. So I think the I mean, you know what I think the hardest thing is, if you want to, I'd tell you what one of the biggest challenges I think is, people have to work. A lot of people have to work at 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, and they're not done till 4:30, 5, 6. They're hitting traffic. They might pick up their kids from daycare, go home. They want to make this meal made from scratch. At what time do you have time for working out jiu-jitsu?
They're done.
You either got to go crazy early in the morning,
right,
or late on in the evening. And just realistically, I mean, looking at the big picture, that's very, very hard for most people.
Right. No, that's true. I mean, it's not conducive. Or it is expensive, or you have to sacrifice some sleep.
Yep.
Which is, not necessarily healthy for you.
So, yeah, I mean, what are you going to get? 8 hours of sleep? Be up at what time? I mean, you can't have your cake and eat it too, right?
Well, that's why everybody's out of shape.
Well, I think there's a lot of more reasons than that. I mean,
Europe, that's a huge reason. Well, I
went to Europe, and people were not obese.
Bro, but over there, you can. We have a section of the company in Europe. They cannot work more than 40 hours. They get in trouble if somebody's working more than 40 hours.
That's awesome.
It's a different mentality. It's a completely
different culture.
It's like over here, like if it's the end of the month and you're leaving early, it's just a different mentality.
Right. Well, here it's frowned upon, right? So if you're like, for example, if you take a nap, una siesta, you can't take a nap here. You're weak.
You're lazy.
You're weak. You're not hustling. You're not a hustler. You should be working 80 hours a week like Elon Musk.
Right.
Right. So how do you have that health? How do you take a break? How do you? I mean, no wonder everybody's getting stressed. Stress it contributes to gain weight.
Well, then you got to compensate with coffee, Adderall,
keep you going.
All
drugs.
Shit. You got to keep it going.
Yeah, that's and
wine.
I wonder where we are. Wine, yeah, wine with red sweaters.
You work with wine to cope with reality,
with society. I mean,
how you keep up?
At least you want to at least let us know who this is. Please.
Introduce.
Huh?
Ivan Burgess.
Ivan, welcome to the studio.
Come here,
have a seat.
I don't work 9 to 5 though.
What hours do you work?
We don't even work, so it's fine.
What kind of?
Yeah.
You don't have to talk, but at least sit down. You're making everybody uncomfortable. Come on. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. The listeners
are wondering why is the studio audience up?
On the air right now.
Yeah, we're live.
Yeah, we're live.
We're recording. We're definitely recording.
I don't work 9 to 5.
What hours do you work?
10 to 2.
10 to 2. Wow. 10 to 2 p.m. or 2 a.m.
10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Wow. What do you do?
I work for VA benefits.
VA benefits.
Yeah.
So is that 5 days a week? 6 days a week?
3 to 5.
3 to 5. So that is a great schedule, but not everybody can work that schedule.
But I've done my time to work that schedule, honestly.
Yeah? So do you work remotely from home at all, or you just work from the office?
No.
Or from wherever you're...
I go from veterans homes to veterans homes.
So you work half. All right. So do you feel stressed because of all the work, because of your work?
Come here. You can get closer.
Yeah, we're gonna interview you.
You got to talk really close to that mic, like really put it right by your mouth.
You see?
Really close.
Do I do what?
I said, do you feel stressed because of the amount of work that you work?
I feel a little stressed because I feel like the amount of work that I do, I better make the amount of money that I need to make.
In that time?
Yes.
So you work about 20 hours a week? From 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.? And if you work 5 days a week, I mean, that's 4 hours in one day, which is, let's say one day, for example. You work 4 hours in a day. A lot of people work.
I'm traveling.
You're traveling.
Over North Carolina and Virginia.
Oh, so you're not counting the traveling time.
No.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something.
Okay.
I don't count that.
Yeah.
So how many hours do you think you would work in a day? In a given day?
In a given day, anywhere from maybe 5 to 8.
Okay. So, I mean, the crazy part is I think, there's people who work 8 hours, or they work their 40 hours, but they're on salary, right? So they have the travel time on top of the 8 hours. and then they have to.
Quota.
Huh?
I'm on a quota.
Okay, but there's some people who have to be there. They might be there earlier. They want to be the first person there. They want to be the last person to leave, or they have to do paperwork and X amount. Next thing you know, they're working 50, 60 hours a week. Legit. I mean, how do you work out then? How do you just... I mean, it's easier said than done.
I know. You run everywhere you travel.
But the thing is like...
easy
you what? You what?
You run everywhere.
You run everywhere, that's right. Or ride a horse.
The thing is like, what's the point? It's like, okay, you work 40 hours a week. Some people need to work extra time just to cover up whatever their expenses are. Mm-hmm. So the reason they're getting stressed out is because they got all this bill coming in. Okay, the problem is on the decisions you're making. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes, like I got my friend lying on the tax records just so he can buy a bigger house. Mm-hmm. So he has a company. He's saying like, oh, I make $80,000 a year, so I can get a $360,000 house. Okay, so now you don't make that much. You lying to the IRS. You know you're gonna pay a little bit more, just because you want something better than what you can afford. Mm-hmm. And to have something better than what you can afford is gonna put you in a situation where you're gonna have to work more on the job that you're capable of doing, just because you want to live a life that you can afford. Absolutely. So that's why it's been stressing people out. Oh, I want a new I don't know, what do you want? Like, I want my Beat headphones. Man, they sell some Beats at Walmart for $1.90. And then you can listen to the same thing. If you can afford it, don't make that stupid decision of going, like, spending $300 on a Beat just because you want to look cool in front of your friend.
I agree that there's some people that they're playing the rat race, they're trying to keep up. But I also think that there's a lot of people that want to grow in their career, they want to grow in their field, and they have to put in their time. Like she said just now, I put in my time. Now I can work the schedule because I put in years and years of 50 hours a week plus travel, right? But they want to grow and they want to develop and they want to climb the ladder, or they want to get that bigger position.
It's hard not to, once you get in the system, it's hard not to look at it that way, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't know which one's right or wrong. Right before I came here, I was on the phone with my friend, and we were talking about this other friend that he says, I need to make $200,000 a year just to be where I need to be. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, $200,000, that would that's a lot, right? But like Elias says, it seems like the consumerism always catches you up to that, right? Yeah. So I mean, if you're smart enough, you could be making $50,000 a year with very low rent. But that's one aspect of it. And what this guy said to me was like, dude, he's making $200,000 a year, and he's still doing the same exact shit that you and I are doing, right? Like, with some variations, right? But he's still.
What do you mean the same things we do?
Well, that's what kind of like he's he's got a house. He spends all this time in his house, and then he spends most of the time in the office doing a higher level shit. I'm sure, right? Mm-hmm. But he's still doing the same thing, right? Like, he's spending most of the time at the office. He gets up probably, I don't know his routine, but he probably gets up at 6, gets there by 7 or 8, and you leave at 5 or whatever. Right. You might have a slightly different schedule, but if you have a different schedule, then you're going to have a higher stress, like you were describing, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it seems like you're really stressed right now for some reason.
I'm not stressed, but the thing is, I have a small amount of window
to do
make what I need to make. Mm-hmm. Because I'm working with a different socioeconomic status.
Gotcha.
That only gets up at a certain time.
Oh, wow.
And it is what it is.
Right. So either you have to work long hours or you have to make it happen. And I'm sure you do some preparation before and after, right? So there's not just that. But anyways, what this guy was saying is like, I want to get to the point that I'm not doing that. Mm-hmm. And you know what I said? It's like, that's why I like to hang out with Rambier and Elias. These motherfuckers are not doing any of that shit. They're like, why aren't you showing up here at 3 in the afternoon? Or we're like, I mean, you guys have figured out a way in which, you're always like either buying, selling. You got the chicken business. People need chicken. I don't know.
Well, people need chicken.
It's a different view, like you got a little bit of freedom. And that's the goal, right? Well, but it's hard to get to that.
That's the thing. And I feel like this guy says he wants 200 now. Okay. Guaranteed.
He needs 200 to maintain.
Okay. Yeah. Guaranteed when he starts making X amount and he's making more. That 200 is not going to be enough.
Right, that's the thing.
Because the kids now are in private schools.
Right.
His mortgage now, he has a bigger mortgage. He doesn't have one payment. He has 2 vehicle payments. Right? The luxury vehicles, he needs more now to stay. You can never keep up. Now, what Elias is saying is, that's your choice. Now, if you want to bust your ass and dedicate your life to work, you can do that so you can afford these material things. It's not necessarily a bad thing if that's what if important to you. Yeah. Right? So you could work, he could work and he could maintain with 100,000. It's just he chooses certain things for that lifestyle. But it reminded me of Tim Ferriss, who was talking about doing like mini retirements or like mini retreats or whatever. So like go and take a month off, right, if you can, and go and spend like a month off, because when you retire, people think I'm gonna work, and I retire and I'm putting my time in. So when I'm 65 or 67, then I'll really go do what I really want to do, right? Who's going to start doing those things? You're not going to start wakeboarding at 65 years old, or start skiing at 65 years old, or start, sailboating at 65. But he was saying that there's something that you can work. A lot of people are working remotely, right? And more people are going to continue working remotely. But basically what you make in the States and you live somewhere else, in Thailand or Indonesia, or some of these places that your dollar stretches out a whole lot more, and you can live very, very comfortably with X amount of money that you're making. You don't have to make a lot of money to live in these other countries. Live very comfortably and live in safe places, gated communities, and have somebody who helps you. The food is cheap. Overall, cost of living is cheap.
So I was thinking about that because I'm close, or within the next couple of years or so, in which I could work from remote. Home. Mm-hmm. If I've been, who knows? Maybe not. But I thought about that. Like, what if I took what I make here and I could do everything from a computer, mm-hmm. and just entirely move to Colombia.
Right.
I mean, there's people, as soon as you work from home in the company, you can go, there's people living in Arizona, California. They don't have to live in Raleigh.
Right.
When they need them at the office, they fly them to the office. And I believe some of those expenses are actually covered, because as the benefit, you're working from home. We fly you in. You don't need to be local.
Right.
But I don't know what the laws or the policy is for living in Colombia. Like, do they? Because at that point, you need to. You're paying some. I don't know how that works, right? Like, you can't just, because otherwise, why wouldn't you get somebody remote from Colombia and paying pennies, mm-hmm. or less, right? So I don't know how that works, but that would be. But dude, if you could get the salary you have here and live in Colombia,
yeah, I mean, you make
we live like a
60,
king, bro.
70, 80,000 US dollars. And you go live in Colombia, you're living good. Very, very comfortably.
Very good.
Your kids are in private schools. You're in a gated community. I mean...
Well, it triples, basically.
You disagree.
You better be getting paid from a company that's in America.
Right.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You're employed
in America. Getting a little bit closer.
No, so you better be living in a company that's in America, mm-hmm. or... a stipend or something that's coming from America.
Of course, that's the idea.
Yeah.
You're American employed.
I would love to retire in Colombia, the Philippines, in Africa.
And what he's saying is, you're not going to retire. You're not going to go live over there when you're 60s. You can do it right now when you're in your late 20s, your early 30s.
When I'm 43.
Do you for your job that you do right now? Do you have to be at the office?
No, you have to meet with actual
or do you have to meet with
vets.
people? Or can you do it all from a computer?
No, I have to actually meet with people because I'm not good. Here's the thing. I'm meeting with people at their basic needs. Mm-hmm. I can't. Usually my people are homeless. They don't have internet. They don't have cell phone access. So I have to meet face to face.
Right. And this idea is not for not everybody can do that. Right. Some entrepreneurs can do it.
No, I'm not in that.
Right. So some people, if you have an eBay store and you're selling, on Blue Betsy, and you're making $40,000 a year, just living in America, that's not enough.
Right.
All right. But in Raleigh, North Carolina, 2019. But if you're making $40,000 and you're in Indonesia or you're in Vietnam or you're maybe somewhere in Colombia, maybe you're very comfortable, right? And you're doing everything online, right? That doesn't include Reliance if you're still working at Reliance and making another X amount. So
that would be nice. Yeah, no, I mean it's totally doable, and it's funny that more people don't do it. I'm sure a lot of people do it.
I think a lot of people are scared and not comfortable. I mean, people are scared just to move to the other side of town, let alone to another country, especially if they don't speak the language. But there's a lot of more and more. I mean, you speak English, so a lot of these countries speak English as well.
But I think where it takes place is like, okay, you're stuck. You're probably stuck on your job just because you have your.
Because you have to be.
You
have to be, right.
Like if you own a house, you have to pay your mortgage.
Sure. Your biggest expense.
If you decide to move to another country, you got to figure out the house expense. Mm-hmm. And I don't know about in Colombia, but in Argentina, if you decide to buy a house, it's going to be sold in US dollars. It's not going to be sold in pesos. It's not like, oh, I want to buy $1 million pesos house, and it's not gonna be like, it's gonna be value in dollars.
Well, it's not like that in Colombia.
No, so you can get. So how much is the dollar in Colombia?
We've been actually looking at it. It's 3 times, right? So if you take $1, it becomes 3,000 pesos, which is actually the equivalent. Just think of it as $3, right? So you take $1, it becomes $3 because of the exchange rate. Mm-hmm.
So you're saying you can buy a $150,000 house with $50,000.
Yeah. So for similar, if you because you're making in dollars, it feels to you that way, right? Mm-hmm. Like a house. We looked at some of the houses. The equivalent to that would be like anywhere from $30,000 to $50,000.
$1,000.
We're actually looking into doing a house, like just randomly, like why don't we just do that? Buy a house there and do Airbnb.
Yeah.
In Colombia, because I got inspired by what you guys were saying. We were talking about it, and we started looking online, and you can find houses or apartments in Cali for about $30,000.
Okay, is it worth it when you have the exchange for somebody to be staying there the night?
Yeah, we were. Well, that's where we're kind of experimenting with. You can you go to Airbnb and look up how much you can rent it.
How much are rooms going for?
Way less than you would here, but still you would turn a profit if not paid for the thing.
So I wonder if you get into like the busiest, best tourist areas in Cali.
So we looked at Cartagena,
which
is a bigger. So it was more expensive, but not as expensive as the U.S.
But I wonder what they're paying for.
More, and it was more. But then at the same, and also Colombia is interesting because it used to be a non-touristy area, right?
Right, for so long.
But now it's more and more touristy.
Mm-hmm. It used to be very dangerous.
Right, it was very dangerous. It had a bad reputation, but now it's becoming more and more where like you see Americans, you see Canadians, you see a lot of people coming. I mean, I know 3 or 4 people that have gone to Colombia recently, not because they had friends or family, just because it was a destination. Well, yeah, that's also true.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that go there because of plastic surgery. The doctors are really... But no, I'm talking about just in general, like this guy that works at the office, he went there for a vacation because it's very cheap.
And a lot of people are not going to Mexico now. Because now Mexico is getting what Colombia had before. So people are shying away from Mexico, and they're saying, all right, where else can we go?
Right. Because of the exchange rate, dude, you go over there and you're buying lunch for $3. You're having an amazing dinner for like $20-$30, and
you're getting again like medical
you got to talk to them
service that you're getting in Miami for like about third of the cost. In Colombia.
Right, you can also there's people go for their yeah,
for sure.
I mean, I can tell you from my dog Angel. Remember that I had a dog and she was struggling hard, like.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And they wanted to see the dog, like they wanted like something like $5,000, $8,000
here.
I ended up taking over there and for like $300. They did all the testing and everything they needed to do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, just in general, everything's cheaper, right?
But the problem, everything's cheaper, but also people make so much less.
Right.
So how can you benefit and leverage off your income?
Well, so when you're there,
U.S. dollars. In U.S. dollars and work remotely because all you need is internet access in your laptop.
Right.
So you can get compensated as American in U.S. dollars and then reap the rewards of being in another country.
I see you shaking your head. I'm not.
Because it's not that easy to get over there, though.
What do you mean?
First of all, you better have...
You need to talk into the mic because we can't hear you.
You better have no criminal record to get over into Colombia. They won't accept you on a working visa even if you have a slight issue on your.
How do you know? I'm a Colombian.
I'm not calling you. I'm saying because I know.
You know why?
Because I've had people try to get over there. Colombia's not trying to accept anybody
who has a criminal background.
An American citizen can come into Colombia with no visa.
They can come over for a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so maybe
if you want to work,
maybe that's a stipulation. Maybe you can't stay there, but X three months. X
so
I don't know.
You can't get over there and stay over there.
But that
without a record.
I think if anybody was interested in doing this and they obviously tried it out for 3 months, I think you can stay there for 3 months if you have no criminal background and rent an apartment. If you're renting an apartment in the States and you're paying $1,200, you can go rent an apartment.
If you can stay here without papers, you can stay in Colombia without papers. Especially if they're paying you here. Like the hardest thing would be to get a job, you know. But if you're getting paid already, it wouldn't be a problem. I don't think.
The visa that's like.
Yeah, but you wouldn't need a visa because you're not looking for jobs.
But if you want to stay there over an extended period of time, you're gonna need.
So you're telling me that Colombia is like somehow turning people away?
Americans?
No. Colombia's definitely not turning people away, but if you want to stay there, you're not going to make a life over there after 6 months.
But you're missing the point because you're getting paid from the U.S. I feel like you're missing parts of the conversation.
Here's the thing. If I go over there with my military retirement, which I'm going to get in 18 months, and I go over there, I'm going to get a steady paycheck every month.
Right.
After that, I have to show the Colombian government that I'm going to make a certain amount of money.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you do.
Well, you probably do on paper, but nobody's going to... There's not an immigration, like, system. Yeah, I see what you're saying, but like,
if you
it's
want
not...
to do things the right way, and I'm...
Right.
Look,
yeah.
We can all
you're
go
by
over
the book.
table
Yeah.
And do things the shady way. But if you want to do things the right way, you got to...
Yeah, so let me...
Yeah, most people, every time, if you bring in business and you bring in money to the country, you're going to be welcome. Like the United States, like if you have $500,000 to come to the U.S. and invest on business, they will give you a permanent residency. Okay, if you coming from another country with $500,000, you will get a temporary residence that will last you 10 years for you to come over here. So every time people is going to another country to invest, you gotta be welcome. You're definitely gonna be welcome. So I'm pretty sure if you go to the Colombia, I don't know, embassy, and do you say, look, I'm a U.S. citizen, I would like to move to Colombia, this is how much I'm getting paid, I'm gonna go to Colombia, I'm gonna buy a house, I'm gonna go to Colombia, I'm gonna start using restaurants.
Yeah,
alright, you know what? You're welcome here.
Yeah.
Like Colombia accepted a bunch. This is a good thing Colombia did. Accept a bunch of Venezuelan people going there, and they were like welcome, and they were very happy. The Venezuelans, they were going to Colombia and doing all this stuff. So,
well, I mean, it's an idea.
On that note,
it's an idea, something to look into. Yeah.
2020, see your pecker. 2020, move to Colombia.
Take a gander.
Disposable income. 10-hour week, 4-day week.
All right, guys.
With TTYLU. Bye-bye.